Hello, viewers. Welcome back once again to your channel. Yes, as promised, I'm back once again with your Julius Caesar Act 1, Scene 2, Part 2. Without further ado, let's get started. But before I start, let me remind you that if you find my videos helpful, please do not forget to give me a like and also subscribe to my channel. All right. Now we had stopped at a point where the soothsayer had been warning Caesar to be careful of the 15th of March, but Caesar dismisses him. All right. We take it up from there. Line number 25, Cassius's speech. Cassius, will you go to see the order of the course? Not I. I pray you do. So Cassius is asking Caesar, Brutus, sorry, are you going to go to watch the game? Brutus says, no, I'm not going. Cassius says, why? I request you, please come. Brutus says, I'm not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you. Brutus says, no, I'm not that interested in games. I do not have that kind of liveliness, that agility in me that is there in Antony. So I'm not, very much keen on going and watching these games. Rather, if you are interested in going, please do go. Cassius, I'm not going to stop you. Now, this is very significant. As an alert reader, my dear students, you should realize Cassius has only asked Brutus why is he not going. But what does Brutus reply? Brutus replies that he is not gamesome and he brings in the comparison of himself with Antony. Why? It was not called for. Nobody had asked him to compare himself with anybody. But out of his will, out of his desire, he went on to, compare his own self with Antony. So, what does it reveal about his character? That there is already something in Brutus which gives rise to the idea of inferiority complex. All right. That those seeds of inferiority complex are already ingrained in him. That is why, out of the blue, he starts comparing his own self with Antony. But then he's accepting that he is no match for Antony, at least in this regard. So, that level of that idea of comparison, that idea of equating one with the other, is already ingrained in him. All right. So Keisha says, Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I want to have. Keisha says, Brutus, I've been observing you for quite some time now. And I have seen that in your eyes that gentleness and show of love is gone. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you. Keisha says, I've been observing you quite of late, quite some time now. And for quite some time I have observed what? That gentility in your eyes, those shows, those warmth, those ideas of love, all of it is gone. And you're coming across as a very rough individual. What does it reveal about Cassius? Cassius is a keen observer. Brutus says, Cassius, be not deceived, be not worried. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. If I have changed my look, if I have changed my mannerism, my outlook, then it is only because I choose to do it. It is only because of reasons which I know of. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which gives some soil, perhaps, to my behavior. So Brutus accepts that he himself is to be blamed for his behavior, as he had been having some conflicting thoughts and emotions in his mind. But what are these conflicting thoughts and emotions? We will soon find out. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number Cassius be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than the poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men. So Brutus says, be not therefore my good friends be grieved. But therefore I wish my good friends not to get worried, because the trouble and the problem is within me. My friends have got nothing to do with it. Okay, so Cassius, be you one. You are one of the good friends that I have, Cassius. Mark, Brutus is still considering Cassius as a very good friend of his. Okay, so he says, Brutus, Cassius, I only wish to remind you that my friends have got nothing to do with my kind of the trouble that I'm facing of late, because I am with war with himself. He says that with himself at war, so he is at war with himself. Now Brutus is a tragic hero. He is plagued by internal conflict, troubles in his own mind, his own passions. All right. So he accepts that, and he also tells that let not my friends feel that they have done me some wrong for which I am worried. Cassius, then Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, Brutus, can you see your face? Cassius says, Brutus, I have mistook your passion, then I have must misunderstood your emotions. By means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, and I have buried deep within me great thoughts, great emotions, great ideas of worthy cogitations. Worthy cogitations, that means value things which need greater thoughts, which are need to be given much time to think about. So Cassius says, I have buried within me a fact which I have not been able to share, and it is that which troubles me. What is this thought? Let's see. Brutus says, no, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection of some other thing. This is very philosophical of Brutus. He says, a man cannot see himself unless he is reflected by something. I am unable to see my worth until and unless somebody else shows me my worth. Cassius, it's just that. And it is very much lamented, Brutus. It is so sad, Brutus, that you do not know your worth, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness in your eyes. It is sad that nobody till date has shown you what you are capable of. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus. Cassius says that I have heard in Rome many great men, but except Caesar, speak very highly of you, Brutus. Point to be noted, he points out, he categorically mentions that except Caesar, most of the great men in Rome speak highly of Brutus. Speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, and people have been complaining the tyranny of this age, the problems of this age. What is this age? The age under Caesar's rule. Have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes, and people have been extremely wishful in thinking that Brutus knew his worth. So Cassius has started becoming manipulative here. He's a powerful orator, he's a powerful speaker, he knows the use of the tongue very well. And He begins thus to use the skill of his tongue to make Brutus realize that he is almost on the equal pedestal to that of Caesar, and that too the people of Rome are, attesting to it. But only Caesar till date has not been accepting Brutus's word. So the first league of the game has started. What game? We will soon realize that. And Brutus says, into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? What are you leading me? Brutus is getting scared. What are you trying to hint at, Cassius? That would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me? What are you trying to show me? What are you trying to bring out of me which I am not aware of? Brutus is very, very scared because he has begun to understand that Cassius is leading him into areas which are dark and sinister. Cassius is going to make him walk on terrains which are not at all that smooth. Okay, we'll stop here today. We'll continue with the remaining scene in the next video, because this is a pretty long scene, and if I do it in one video, it will be very difficult for you to, assimilate so many ideas coming in together. So I have decided to, break this up into smaller videos. Okay, but I will soon be back with the third part of the scene. Until then, have fun, take care of your health. See you really soon. Goodbye.